On the count of podcast.
Podcast.
Welcome to the I Hate Critics 1993 podcast. I am professional film critic Sean Patrick. With me is Amy.
Hello.
And MJ.
Hello.
Find us on wherever you search I Hate Critics on social media. I'm not Bob.
You're not Bob.
I can't do what Bob does.
Oh.
I'm not Bob either, by the way.
No. We've confused the two a few times.
You're MJ.
Yeah, that's right.
Good. That's who I want to be right now. I'm good.
Check back tomorrow.
You never know. I've got school tomorrow, so
Tomorrow is
maybe
Bob.
I could be Bob.
In my heart, you're Bob. Sorry, Bob.
Amy, our presenting sponsor is...
The Pontiac Fiero. The white people of cars.
Oh, my. Wow.
Look, if anyone would understand what we three just endured, you'd understand why I'm working with a very small collection of jokes today.
We saw no people of color in this
Nope,
movie. None at all.
Not at all.
Not one.
There's
for
so many elderly
100
white men.
miles.
Yeah. Oh my
It was
god.
all elderly white men, and then the one girl.
Yeah.
So, I was looking over the Academy Awards list for movies from 1993 to see where we stood in terms of having seen any of the movies that were nominated for Oscars. And it turns out, thus far of 1993, we've seen hardly anything of the movies that have been nominated for an Academy Award
Right.
out of 1993. And I started thinking, well, we need to catch up. So what can we watch that would make sense? And I chose The Remains of the Day.
To be clear, you chose Remains of the Day. We chose.
We would like to clarify that.
We would like to clarify that.
What did you choose exactly?
I didn't have a choice. You shoved this one down our throats. You said
It was the only option.
it's the only option.
I said it was this or the cancer movie.
And then I said, yeah, probably not the cancer movie. Because I don't want to cry. Although I do think that it probably would have been a lot more lighthearted compared to this fucking movie.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yep. Right? I mean...
My Life with Michael Keaton and Nicole Kidman.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Wherein Michael Keaton is dying of cancer and leaves behind a series of videos for his child to watch throughout their life after he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of humor and hilarity.
Just a barrel of laughs.
Probably can't make jokes to that. Let's watch The Remains of the Day.
Oh my god.
The boredom of this film. I was reminded of when I saw Mr. and Mrs. Bridge with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. Like, that movie is the essence of boredom until this movie came along.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Just like watching a plank of wood drift.
That movie is just Paul Newman just being like really reserved, like he's this reserved Southern gentleman who's just watching the world change around him. And he's unhappy about it, but he's also so polite that he doesn't say that he's unhappy about it.
God, that could be like falling down. Don't you think? Like, he just gets out of his buggy one day and just starts shooting people up. I assume they rode buggies in that movie. How old was that movie, Mr. and Mrs. Bridge?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have no memory. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This movie is so boring.
It is full boredom.
So.
What did anyone see in this movie that they were like, you know what? This movie's incredible. All of that understated emotion that they have.
I don't think we watched the same movie. No. You know what? Okay. Let's be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic cast.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant actors and actresses in this film. Or you could just say actors. All across the board.
Really.
Yeah. And again, like, Emma Thompson's one of my favorite people that ever acted the actoring. And I didn't understand what her role really was in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand what her role is in this movie.
Unclear.
Aside from her just getting her heart just shattered and shat upon, and, you know.
It was?
Well, yeah.
I mean, she's barely in the first half of the movie. Although
Yeah.
the movie is telling us that they're telling this like love story between her and Anthony Hopkins. They have like the chemistry of a father and daughter. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
do they even have that
Even
though?
that.
I think that's pushing it.
I think they're coworkers across the cubicles. Like that's
Like my loins weren't set on fire when I watched them in the same scene together. If that helps,
No,
that probably helped.
it was an arid desert.
Just like my womb. This movie is my womb. It's very boring,
It's
and nothing can happen there.
extraordinarily dry.
And it goes on for days. Days.
it.
It's still it's still on in my room. We just like we're just gonna let it roll.
We just turned it off.
Oh, all right.
Turned off the whole TV.
We had to because I felt like it was gonna start on its own again.
It would.
It would.
It
This movie has so much spite for us.
We're going to pause for just a moment. I believe I'm not sure if I'm able to play this or not, but I'm going to play it anyway
Okay.
because it's so appropriate. Let me see if I can play this for the whole class.
For the whole class.
Oh yes, the whole class needs to hear it.
Everyone needs to hear because I pulled up an illustrative clip that should be part of our conversation here, I believe.
I'm ready.
Oh boy. I'm not.
Oh,
Oh no!
not working.
Just one moment, please.
I have to edit this.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, Amy, do you want to edit this?
You know I don't know how to use computers.
Oh my God!
What's a computer?
Computer.
So this is going to kind of give everybody a good sense of what we were dealing with today. I think this is the really.
So, we've got known in Britain for making the smaller films. Smaller, recently we've been pulling out of that into the more train-spotting area. But the smaller films, the kind of, room with a view with a staircase and a pond type movie. Films are very fine acting, but the drama is rather sort of subsumed, or a word like that. Something or other. Just sort of folded in, and everything's people opening doors. What? Well, What is it, Sebastian? I'm arranging matches. Well, I thought I better go. Yes, I think you better have. And you can't eat popcorn to that. You're going... Whereas if the film did any little bit of business in America, as like if the film did, some decent bit of business, then Hollywood would take it and they'd remake it and they'd up the budget by 50 million and it would be called The Room with a View of Hell, Staircase of Satan, Pond of Death, and have people open the door going, "You're fucking in here all the time you're in here to fucking matches, you're fucking learning, fucking fucking. You don't talk to me that way. You don't talk to me that way. You fuck my wife. You fuck my wife. You fuck my wife. You fuck my wife.
This is a
You
very
fuck my
American
wife.
movie.
I am your wife. That doesn't matter. I say again, you fuck my wife. All right, yes, I fucked your wife. I am your wife and I fucked her. Die, you cunt. Fucking matches I can't get out. I ain't gonna drive around town and put babies on spikes.
Oh, remember the babies on spikes, man? I do love that. Eddie Izzard.
That's just like the
Excellent.
perfect approximation of this movie.
It's so true.
People opening doors and going, "Oh, yes, hello."
I think he nailed it when he was talking about, you can't eat popcorn to this. Even though I did have a few servings of bean dip and taco shells. It's because I was very hungry. But normally we even took a nap before this movie because we were afraid we were going to fall asleep during it. And we were right. I mean, like when we didn't fall asleep.
Everybody
during
stayed
it.
awake.
The nap.
Right.
I would have fallen asleep without the nap. I hope you all know.
Fuzzy, tell everybody
I was
what you were
also
doing.
tired.
Tell everybody what you were doing.
I was watching videos of people cleaning pools.
We didn't know that right away. God damn it. Should we get to explaining what this movie's about?
As soon as you
yes.
know what this is about, you can
Look.
tell me. No, there's some World War II intrigue going on, like the Mr. Darlington, the owner of the manor, the
Mhm.
castle, whatever the fuck it is.
It's a manor.
It's
Manor
a manor.
house.
He's collaborating with the Nazis in the wake of ahead of World War II, trying to smooth things out and help Germany, and then help the Nazis once the war starts. And he's going to get his comeuppance because you don't work with the Nazis in movies. It's bad.
Yeah, he's a Nazi sympathizer.
And his comeuppance is that at some indeterminate point in history, he dies a broken, sad individual.
And we all clapped.
That sounds dramatic, but you don't actually see that in the movie. You're told about that, and
You
so
have to
many
be told
like
about it.
all the shit that happens in this movie, you're just fucking told about it. Like Emma Thompson goes off with a guy, and they're gonna start an inn together and have children, and you don't see any of that. But you get told later on in the movie that she has a grandchild.
You know, if I watched every movie where they just told me what the movie was about, just don't let me think about it. Just tell me about it. I do want to say this because
Yeah.
I did find this, and maybe this might clear some things up for all three of us.
Oh,
I doubt it.
Amy's gonna clear it up here.
So there was a reviewer who said that Remains of the Day may be seen to be about Stephen's attempt to grapple with his unreliable memories and interpretations and the havoc that his dishonesty has played in his life. In particular, she suggests that Remains challenges scholarly accounts of the unreliable narrator. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Wall notes that the ironic effect of Mr. Stevens' narration depends on the readers assuming that he describes events reliably while interpreting those events in a self-serving or peculiar way. So there's that.
That's the book. You're talking about the book.
Okay. It's not the way that this is talking about the movie. I'm looking at the movie. According to Stephen Connor, Remains thematicizes the idea of English national identity. In Mr. Stevens' view, the qualities of the best butlers, which involve restraining personal emotions in favor of keeping up appearances, are identified as essentially English. Which, okay, as a fan of the show Upstairs, Downstairs, as a fan of the show Downton Abbey, you see the butlers in those TV shows, they take their job very, very seriously. And of course, Anthony Hopkins' character does that. He's very, very tight.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, he was so tight that you couldn't relate to his character at all. You didn't know how to relate to his character. He was like a fucking robot,
Yeah.
you know?
Until you
was-
mentioned that he's supposed to be unreliable, I had no idea he's
Yeah,
supposed to
right?
be unreliable.
Oh, because I mean, we were all taking it like he was the end all be all of butlering.
Yeah.
His daddy butlered. His daddy's daddy butlered.
It's buttled.
You have to stop saying that. 'Cause it's not true. My daddy buttled. My granddaddy buttled. Buttled.
All my family.
How-
Buttling.
But how did all those generations manage to have children without ever having sex?
Well, that's the thing.
Because
a
clearly
great
butlers
question.
have no emotions or families, and you're not allowed to have gentleman callers. Are you allowed to have non-gentlemen? Are you have female callers? What are what are they called?
You really-
Should
you-
have been allowed to have a female caller?
That's my question.
Well, that would have certainly made this movie interesting. I mean, of course, like if you watched Downton Abbey, and it wasn't uncommon for the butler and the head housekeeper to have a relationship, to get together, because they both take such great care of the manor.
hmm
Then it's okay if it's okayed by the owner that they could get married. But outside of that, no, you're pretty much fucked.
I mean, I could see, because then you wouldn't ever have to leave, because you wouldn't have to, like, you were already married to somebody there. You
Right.
wouldn't have to leave your job.
Really,
like-
they should encourage fraternizing.
Yeah, but what if they all had the same last name, Smith. It's like, oh, that's so great. I don't even have to change my name when we get married. Then they find out that they're brother and sister. Like, it's England, dude. Back in the day. It's like,
I made a joke about Mr. and Mrs. Bridge
yeah.
before. That was also directed by this same director.
By Mike Nichols? Mike Nichols. What the fuck, dude?
I don't know, man. Oh, no, sorry, James Ivory. Sorry,
Oh.
different director.
Oh, so like, what, half of Merchant Ivory.
Who, yeah, one of the producers of this film.
Right.
So they're the same producers.
Yeah, Merchant Ivory. There was a joke, and actually,
There was, like, Merchant Ivory, like, in my childhood was, like, the definition of homework as a movie. Like, if you're going to watch,
that's true.
like, it's just that you saw the Merchant Ivory as a child, and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm not watching that.
I would recommend anybody to go over to YouTube, type in French and Saunders, Merchant Ivory, and just see some of the shit that they have fucked up with. Some of the funniest Merchant Ivory jokes on French and Saunders. Please go check that out.
They
Yeah.
must have seen the remains of the day.
Oh, they've seen all of them. And actually, you know, Emma Thompson is a really good friend of theirs because they used to do comedy together back in the early 80s.
If only
So-
somebody would allow Emma Thompson to do comedy in this movie.
Well, she tried.
Ugh.
She tried.
I gotta say, I mean, there's a scene in this movie that is, like, one scene I took note of that was very, very good in terms of, like, what I assume is the theme here, which is there's a scene where Anthony Hopkins, what's his name? What's his character name?
Stevens.
Stevens.
How could you forget that?
Stevens
They said
Jr.?
it 1,000 times.
We said it so many times.
Stevens.
Stevens is serving at a private party for his that Mr. Darlington is throwing, and one of Darlington's jerk friends is like, "Do you have any opinions on this question, the gold standard versus the non-gold standard?" It's not my place to have an opinion, sir. I can't help you with this, sir. I'm sorry.
So yeah, and his whole thing through the movie is that he will act like he didn't recall the conversation because he was very busy butlering.
Yeah, but he does.
Buttling, sorry.
But he feels guilty because he remembers all of it.
Right.
But that's a good scene because it's illustrating that why these, rich people feel that they're so much more better than everybody else and should be in charge of everything.
Right.
Like, because these lower class people don't have opinions, they don't have thoughts, and they cannot make up any mind for themselves. So we, the very rich and important, have to make these decisions for those poor losers.
See, that's real. Like that's America today. You know what I mean?
That's like one good scene, though.
Yeah. Okay, can we just say, and I'm going to point this out, Hugh Grant is in this movie. Thank fucking God Hugh Grant is in this movie because
for that whole conversation about the birds and the shrubs,
which none of us understand what the fuck that was about.
Was that code? Was it a conversation in code?
It could be, I guess.
Maybe we were laughing at the previous scene and missed what the code was supposed to be.
Because this guy oozes charisma. Like it's spilling out of his face. And we finally get one really good scene where he's basically saying, my godfather, Darlington, is being a fucking tool, and they're going to use him, and then he's going to lose his fortune, and everything's going to go away. And his butler, Stevens, is just like, I
trust my master to make the best choice.
What do I know?
Excuse me, now I have to count matches.
It's just, and finally somebody raises their voice in this movie. Like, I think I turned it up at least 6 or 7 times. I'm like, are they talking or are we just breathing through this scene? I don't know what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Did you at least learn how far away from the edge of the table the cutlery must be?
Is it 8 inches?
The cup. 8 inches?
8 inches.
It has to be 8 inches from the side of the table.
That's what he said.
No!
What? What?
They were measuring those with Anthony Hopkins' cock, yes.
Oh, God!
Oh,
I didn't deserve that.
That would have been interesting, at least.
We were watching a porno. Yes, that would have been
Is
very
that
interesting.
anybody's business, though.
Good Lord. Yeah. Your favorite scene?
Oh,
The movie, I guess, is about. There's other movies that are similar to this that are about the mundane nature of evil. How evil can be just so. Evil can be boring.
Yeah.
Like Darlington, who decides to casually be evil by collaborating with the Nazis.
How did, maybe even still do, Boris Johnson, how do British men, how they speak so calmly when they're so evil? Like, they're just bubbling with evil. It's like, you care
when you
about
have
them.
when you have that level of a superiority complex, you just don't, you don't feel anything about being just cruel to other people. It's like have you ever watched one of those Tory politicians talk about getting rid of the
NHS.
the NHS?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Fucking
the
idiots.
casual cruelty of the poor can pay for their own fucking hospital stay.
See, that's why they like somebody like Donald Trump, because it's just like, kill the poor, fuck them.
But after they vote for you.
After
After you convince them to vote for you.
get the stupidest people and have them vote for you. No offense. Oh, all offense, actually. All offense. Fuck you.
How do you
We
do
feel
that?
like
How do you?
that's offensive.
How do we not in this country have? And we're gonna digress a lot because this is a supremely boring movie. But how do you have a country like ours where, like, I saw this thing on TikTok where people were like telling this cancer patient that they're so excited to have them back at work, and it's like, this person has cancer. Shouldn't they be at home, like, having cancer?
Oh my
Like,
God.
no.
Should
Wait,
you
don't-
be home having
don't-
cancer?
Just be home having cancer.
Should just be at home, like, dealing with your cancer.
Well-
No. We're at a fast food restaurant, and we've managed to create a situation where it'll be easier for you to work while you have cancer.
Oh, yeah, right.
What the fuck? And this is a feel good story, mind you, that we're talking about.
This is an American story?
Yeah, this is a wonderful feel good story where they've managed to set up a place for this woman to work in the business while she has cancer, because she's weak. She can't do everything she did before. From that whole cancer thing that she has.
That may be ravaging her body.
Yeah.
But
At least
she
she's
can't-
working.
She can't afford to not work because then they'll take away her insurance.
That is so fucked up. That is so fucked up.
Like, how are you voting for people that won't give you universal health care? I don't understand.
Vote against your own interests is what we always say on this podcast.
No, vote only for your own interests.
No, don't vote for
just
it.
directly in
Just
front
go
of
to a NASCAR rally and fuck off. Because you obviously don't care. So, I mean...
There's a feel-good story about, like, I'm just sitting there going, no, this is not okay. This woman should be at home, not having to worry about bills because she has fucking cancer. This is not a feel-good story. What are you talking about?
Well, we're constantly told that it would cost too much to take care of everybody that way, and yet here are other countries thriving,
Doing it, like,
Yeah,
doing it everywhere.
every single day. They've worked up for hundreds of years,
Right.
just not having a for-profit healthcare system.
Right?
Weird how that works.
I know, but
Meanwhile, we have more billionaires per square acre than any other country in the world. Who could probably just go like, let me just take care of all the bills for cancer with this money I have in my
Yes.
wallet.
Right. That I'd just be carrying around with me, monocle in my eye, money bags in hand, which is how we picture you people.
yeah.
So
I mean, don't you think that Elon or Jeff Bezos just has that money that they can
lying
just like,
around.
I'll cover all the cancer payments. You can just send everybody home and.
Nope, because Jeff Bezos wants to go to the moon again. And we're not going to take that away from little Jeffy.
Because why not go to the moon again? That's what we need right now. We need to go to the moon.
This lady's slowly dying in the drive-through lane of
Moon.
some fucking restaurant. But yeah, totally. Let's go back to the moon, please.
He's just, I mean, To me, it's like you hear that story and, like imagine somebody telling Jeff Bezos that story and he's just cackling at it. He's like, well, I'm going to the moon again.
Wait, does she work for me?
Right. Give her a 10-cent raise. We can't afford more than that this month. I'm going to the moon again.
All right, I'll cover her Prime subscription for 6 months.
She can have free shipping. It's fine. God, people ask so much of me. And he just wants to go to the moon.
Let me go to the moon.
Look, I take away all of the pee breaks from everybody in the Amazon system. I have to go to the moon.
Yes. Yes. I hate these people so much.
They brought bottles from home to pee in, didn't they?
Yeah. Some of them were sleeping underneath their desks.
Oh.
Well, I mean, just take a nap because you're not going to get 8 hours there because it's not productive. Meanwhile,
I watched this other thing. This was years ago where they were like talking about and admiring this Japanese company that they had this great idea, and this actually isn't a bad idea. They had these like sleeping tubes, these little sleeping tubes that you could crawl into and take a nap during work. But these guys were talking about it like, if we did that, people wouldn't have to go home. They could just stay and
Jesus
work all day.
Christ. That is the most American thing you've ever told me. Wow.
Meanwhile, in Japan, they're like doing this because it's efficient to have people who are well rested. Stop work for a little bit, go take a nap, come back, finish your day,
Great idea.
go on home.
Great idea.
Great idea.
Except when an American gets their hands on it, and they're like, "Wait, we can fuck this up. Hang on,
We got it.
we got this."
We fucked up less.
That's so true.
But England doesn't produce like $100,000 level jobs for insurance people. I don't understand why you wouldn't want that.
I know.
You need insurance bureaucrats to look at every single line and tell somebody with cancer that they don't have the proper insurance
God.
and that they have to go to a different doctor.
And then you're sitting there with cancer, crying, saying, "What do I do?" And then you have somebody who says, "I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you."
Did you smoke 20 years ago?
You probably got into the situation because it was your fault, right?
It's totally your fault.
You can't cover that.
You're a little overweight too.
Yeah.
I mean, take some personal responsibility.
Yeah. God.
But
Fuck you.
But I'm dying. Well,
Well,
whose fault is that?
we all got to do it sometime, It's just in America, we like to,
Here's the thing.
hurry it up a bit.
It'll probably be cheaper for you.
Oh my God. It's true. Your family really wants to take on all of your bills.
Oh yeah.
So if you could just go ahead and die, they can get all those things paid off for you.
We can make sure to cripple your children with debt as well.
Right. God, we are dark. We are dark today.
Well, this is a dark movie.
It's a very dark fucking movie. You're right.
It's grim. What is the life here?
Well, I think we could have told from the movie poster that it wasn't going to be a lighthearted romp. We're not going to be rolling in the aisles. Woo! Remains of the day. That's a party film. Super bad. Knocked up. Remains of the day.
Kid and Play in the Remains of the Day.
I would watch that.
Queen Latifah in the Emma Thompson role.
Oh my God. Okay, I would watch that. I would watch that.
Is Kid or Play playing Stevens? I think Play has more of a Stevens manner.
It does. And, we're going to put...
Kid can play Lord Darlington.
Oh, would we put him in that role or we put him in the Hugh Grant role? I think it'd be better as
That's too small a role for him. He's
That's
Kid
true.
from Kid and Play.
He's the one with the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's got to be Darlington. There, Merchant Ivory, we fixed your fucking movie.
Next time, call us before you make another piece of shit.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
We're gonna add Kid and Play, Queen Latifah, and a little dog.
We're changing the name of the podcast to "We Fixed Your Movie."
Next time, Don't screw it up.
Right, exactly. God damn. Wow.
Yeah, small role for Dougie Doug.
Can Martin Lawrence be in it somewhere too?
You can play Ben Chaplin's role.
Oh yeah, there we go. I would watch that movie. I would buy that movie because you know it's gonna be infinitely better than whatever the fuck this was. I mean, our souls are so tired after this one.
Oh yeah.
You know who would make a great Cardinal, Hugh Grant's role? Dwayne Wayne.
Kadeem Hardison? Dude, do you fucking know what he's doing now?
No idea.
Oh my god, he's got one of the coolest fucking collection of toys. I'm not shitting you.
Really?
From like Hot Toys and all that kind of stuff. Like I watched him unbox. He does like unboxings and shit. This collection, he's super into like the Marvel universe and that kind of thing. He's into a lot of fandoms. But he's doing some really cool fucking shit out there. It's like I would love to see him on the screen again. I love Kadeem Hardison.
I don't think I've seen him since Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Remember Vampire in Brooklyn? Yeah.
Terrible.
He's still Dwayne Wayne though.
We're on a tangent here, and I've gotten into watching Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel again on YouTube because like all of their episodes are just there, not in great quality, but they're all there. But
Right.
specifically, I've been watching their worst of the year movies,
Ooh.
like the worst of every year, like the worst of 1993, where they mention like many of the movies that we've watched on this show.
Are there ones that they?
But they did like Fatal Instinct. Fatal Instinct was like worst of the year for them.
Are you
And I'm
serious?
like, you're out of your mind.
You're out
That
of your
movie is
mind.
awesome. Fatal
Super.
Instinct and Robin Hood Men in Tights are great.
I just told somebody at work about Fatal Instinct. I mean, you have to see it. If you liked comedy, like those kinds of comedy from back in the 90s, you have to watch it. Like, I think I saw that one in the theater, and I don't remember
No one
much
saw
of it.
Fatal Instinct in the theater.
No, you didn't. Fuck you. You didn't.
But yeah, it's very. They mentioned Vampire in Brooklyn on their worst of that year that came out, and you get to see a little bit of Kadeem Hardison in the clips in there. But
Aww.
you know, it's funny. Like in the 90s, like Robin Williams was on the worst list like every year.
Was he really?
Every year, like Patch Adams,
Oh.
Flubber, Father's Day.
Fucking Flubber. I still have friends to this day. They're like, "Oh, dude, remember Flubber? Wasn't that awesome?" I'm like, no, that was a fucking terrible
you
movie.
do not.
I do.
That's no.
I have three
or
or four friends that still love Flubber.
Oh my god.
It's still in their collection. They're like, "Oh man, my mom and I used to sit around and watch Flubber." I'm like, no one did. No one did that. You're lying.
They didn't watch the Fred McMurray original.
Wasn't called Flubber, was it?
I don't remember. It was called the Nutty. No,
No.
that was Jerry Lewis.
Yes.
What did they call Flubber back?
Don't
in
invoke Jerry Lewis on our fucking podcast. Okay, we already said the name twice. We're not saying,
Triggered?
no, we're not saying the third
Triggered
time.
liberal.
Oh my god, I fucking hate him. Sorry. I hate Jerry Lewis. I hate him so much.
What about the Jerry Lewis telethon?
Yep,
He
hate
did
that.
Did a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, you know what he did? It terrified me as a little kid because I thought all men of a certain age sweat profusely. We're drunk by 7 p.m.
Oh my god. Well,
yeah.
it didn't help their father. Well, I mean.
Oh, take it easy.
Sorry, Dad.
Stop it.
As I looked
Damn
down
it.
at the floor.
Stop it. Next subject.
Do you know that in her career, Meryl Streep has been turned down for 3 roles that she wanted, and this is one of them.
Remains of the day.
Yeah, she wanted the Emma Thompson role, and they turned her down.
I wonder what she would have or could have done with this role. I honestly do wonder that.
I don't know. She loved it that much, though, when she read it, that she was like, please hire me, and they said no. I don't know what the other 2 roles were, but that's just the IMDb trivia about it, is that.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's an inherently British film. Technically, you don't want an American, in a lead role like that. Especially with, you got Emma Thompson. I mean, my God, Sense and Sensibility is one of the greatest movies of all time. She's one of the greatest actresses of all time. I think if this movie would have been less beige, dour.
So dour.
Then I think perhaps we would have had something here. But we really misused Emma Thompson's talent in this movie. I mean, it just... Well, we didn't get to use any of it. You know?
She's barely on screen for the first half.
Exactly.
And then we're told in the second half that they're kind of told in the second half that there was like a torrid love affair happening, I guess.
Right.
That was never, ever happening at all.
Or inferred, or
yeah.
Didn't show up on screen.
No.
Were we supposed to see them as people who were in love, who just like a missed connection? Is that what we're supposed to see?
Me, short, fat, red hair, fishing off the pier with no pants on. You, tall, Irish, green eyes, on a TV show called Umbrella Academy. My phone number will be attached to this message shortly. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a misconnection. I think it was more a missed opportunity to make a good movie. I don't know.
You shared an interesting statistic during this movie that Anthony Hopkins, when he makes this movie, is the same age that Paul Rudd is now. And it just goes to show, like, what is it? What happened, boomers? Why do you look so old? What is going on with that? Like, did we like, is it really? I have this theory, and I know it's insane. This is an insane theory, but did just getting rid of smoking in restaurants change the complexion of humanity? Because now suddenly we're not looking like we're fucking 70 when we're like 50.
I think because the boomers gave up on themselves.
I think they smoked so much. During like the 40s and 50s, they smoked so much that by the time they reached the age of 50, they were just so old.
Yeah.
They just they aged themselves, just pickling themselves in booze and chain smoking. The second we got rid of that, an entire generation of people healed.
The only thing that gave them color in their face was the jaundice from the alcohol or the yellow pallor from the cigarettes. That's how they got that glowy effect.
That is a recipe for boomer.
I just want to clarify, Mom, if you're listening to this from heaven, I'm sorry. This is not about you. You always looked youthful and beautiful. Just wanted to get that out there. No, because if you look at pictures,
we grew up in a restaurant, and you walk through I have memories of walking into the basement of the restaurant, and there's just this sea of smoke in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonder I didn't have asthma as a kid.
But yeah,
I developed it as
you developed
an
it
adult.
later on. But you had to have your before dinner cigarette, your pause in the middle of the dinner so you could have a quick cigarette, another bite of steak, after dinner cigarette,
and then a cigar.
And then a cigar. Possibly some whiskey, and then you go home and beat your wife. So I mean, it was a different time. It was a different time.
That'll age you as well.
Just saying it's a different time. That's me standing up for the boomers there. They didn't know. It's generational. Remember we were talking about Remains of the Day?
Why would we talk about that movie?
We just keep digressing. Oh my god.
This movie sucks so much. What was the point to any of this? World War II was a bad idea. Thank you. Yes.
There it is. There it is.
Yep.
Hot take. Remains of the Day.
You know, if you hadn't gotten involved with the Nazis, you might still be a Lord Darlington.
Womp womp. Now that would make the movie interesting. Give it some sound effects.
Yeah. Like every time Anthony Hopkins takes a step, it makes a little fart noise.
Yeah. That's an infinitely better movie already, just thinking about it.
Just wank, 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 wank every time he walks.
Emma Thompson's ooh, Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens.
What if Emma Thompson, we replaced the Emma Thompson of this movie with the Emma Thompson as Miss Trelawney?
Oh my god, I would love that. I would love that. Because then we could remove
Take
Trelawney
notes,
from the
Merchant
Harry Potter. Yeah, make notes.
Take notes.
Remains of Trelawney. I'd watch that movie. Like I said, we're removing that character from the Harry Potter universe. You can't have her back. She's ours.
So forgive me for talking about somebody who should not be named in any way because he's a terrible person.
Right.
But John Cleese, horrific human being that he is,
He's not horrific, is he?
he hates trans people.
I don't think he said he hates trans people.
He retweets J.K. Rowling.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he's transphobe.
I need to
So
look
fuck him. He can go fuck himself and die.
up.
But he was offered the role of James Stevens.
Okay, no.
He
Although
loved-
that would have been funnier. And back
He
then,
loved
we didn't
the
know he was
novel.
that.
However, he said he withdrew after Harold Pinter, who wrote the original screenplay, took the humor out and made it, in Cleese's words, relentlessly down.
Wow.
Jeremy Irons was considered, but was turned away. And Angelica Houston was up for the role that was played by Emma Thompson.
Angelica Houston?
Mhm.
Okay, again,
She went off to make Addams Family.
well, and as much as I hated that movie, it probably would have been infinitely better than
We're watching that
this.
in a couple. We're watching Addams Family Values in a couple weeks.
Oh, no.
It's true. I gotta say, I watch there's this woman on YouTube that I watch. She has a movie reaction channel, and she was watching the Addams Family, and watching her just simp on Angelica Houston the entire time, just totally like thirsty for Angelica Houston. It was so much fun to watch. Like, she was so into her.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, she's really sexy in that movie. I mean, she is. Or say what you will about the Addams
I
Family.
think she's sexy anyway.
Angelica
but-
Houston is very sexy in that one. You can't say that after you see The Witches, but you can say that after you see the
The witch. Oh, the witches.
Ew.
Ew.
Ew. That's nothing but ew. Yeah. Again, digressing.
As we do.
Because we don't like talking about bad movies. This movie is so dull. It's just insanely dull. Remember Mr. Stevens Sr.?
Oh,
He was my favorite part of the movie.
So Anthony Hopkins has his dad.
Looks more like his brother. Sorry. That was ageist. That was really ageist. I'm sorry.
His dad is 105 years old.
It's just his nose is running constantly.
He's
walking into doors.
he's got
Literally.
the only funny moment is when he does this big pratfall. Or maybe he just fell down and hurt himself. I don't know. Might not have been an intentional comic beat, but I laughed.
We all did, Sean. I love watching people fall on their face. God, we're assholes.
Remember being in this country when you like, is it still this way? Is breaking your hip still code for like, I'm going to die tomorrow?
Oh my God. I hope not. Or they put you down like a horse and shoot you in the head.
Oh my God, no. Like, this is true. Like, back when we were growing up, like, you would hear that someone had fallen and broken their hip, they'd be dead within 2 weeks.
Oh my God, except for Soup. Our grandmother. She was just
This
fine.
was not a survivable injury for most people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
You
then
couldn't- they didn't have like hip replacement
But
back
like
then.
in the 1800s, like, if you broke your hip in the 1800s, they just leave you there. You're just, I'm going to die where I fell now. you can pour the leeches on me, but I'm just going to die here. It's fine.
I hope we all get a choice. You know what? Nope. I think right here I'm just gonna pop down and quick die.
No,
real quick.
we can try it. Nope.
Nope.
The cure is worse than this because it was just a sawing off a portion of your hip without anesthesia.
God, what is wrong with us? We're all going to hell.
It was 1800s.
That's true.
1800s medicine. You know, just a rusty saw and
Some leeches.
no gloves, no washing your hands.
You will contract diphtheria.
I was hearing the story of one of the presidents who got assassinated, like in the early 1900s, and like the first thing the doctor does when he comes to to help the president, who's still alive at this point. President is still alive. He's gotten a bullet in his chest, but he's still alive. First thing this guy does is just stick his finger, just his bare finger, right in the guy's bullet wound to see if he can find the bullet.
Something like number 5 would do.
He cut that tracker right out of his arm. Right out. Oh, I can't watch that.
The president lived like another 19 days after that, but died of fucking gangrene because people just kept sticking their fingers in the fucking wound.
Would you please refrain from sticking your finger in my hole? Not that one. Little lower. Lower.
So there was this doctor. This is all. The Dollop is the best podcast out there. And
Yeah, I
they
love the
tell
Dollop.
these stories all the time.
Yeah.
The guy who first suggested washing your hands before surgery was like treated like a fucking maniac. Like, what kind? Wash my hands, sir? What are you talking about?
They made a joke about that in Good Omens in the second season, where they were actually going to talk to this person. Like, he's trying to get fresh bodies that die, and so he can basically dissect them. And that was the whole thing where it's like Crowley actually looks at him and goes, or was it Aziraphale that said, you may want to start washing your hands before you start. It's going to become really popular one day. I love that line every time I hear it. It cracks me up.
Because it wasn't a popular thing.
He's like, why wouldn't that be popular?
They didn't know about infection. They had no idea about infection yet.
God, imagine like looking down at your hands and then
They
just
had to
like
kill like thousands of people before they realized, like, oh, that guy was right.
oh no.
Thousands of people died from just unsanitary conditions.
My mind went right to the fucking gutter. Just thinking like, don't stick your fingers in any hole if you're not going to wash your hands first, because you will get a UTI. And maybe that's not what they were called back then, and you probably died from them back then.
Do you even want to imagine what that type of care was like in the 1800s? Oh my god.
Why are we horrible?
1800s gynecologist. Was that an SNL sketch?
Should have been if it wasn't.
Steve Martin plays it.
He actually did play a bloodletting doctor on there.
All right, bend over.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god. I'm so, and like, I'm one of those idiots that believes in reincarnation, so I'm pretty sure I lived through some of those things.
Yeah.
But, I say that very matter-of-factly. I'm not crazy. But I'm so glad that we're alive now,
Oh
where,
god, I would not have lasted
I
back
mean-
then. There's no way. I'm too the coming apocalypse, like I need to be gone before that.
Right. I'm just saying I don't want to live in a world where a VCR never existed. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
It's
my
the
god.
little things.
Because like it's weird because like MJ does live in a world where VCRs don't.
But they're obsolete. You don't understand.
I knew about them though. I watched things on them.
I've seen the
I'm
relics.
saying that you basically said that there's like 20 years, a good 20 years where the world was okay.
Yeah. For me, at least. I don't give a shit about
Now we're in
anyone
that
else's
second.
experience.
We're in that second apocalypse.
Look. It's fine.
Coming November 2024, Apocalypse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Everything needs an electric boogaloo after you say number 2.
I mean, if you're going to elect him again, it's over. It's over. It's done.
I've decided it's like I'm leaving everything in my house. I'm just going to walk out to my car and drive somewhere. I'm just going to drive probably north.
I mean, Jules
I'm going to
Winfield.
Canada.
That's where we're going.
I'm going to walk the earth.
just going to get in my car and then just pull it in down on the river and just go forth and see if it'll float like an Oregon Trail, just see if I get the car to float.
Amy has died of diphtheria.
And snake bite. God, that's so much. How'd she get into so much trouble?
Here's this game we played as children. It was just like you would just like name characters after your closest friends and then watch them die.
Watch them die. You're like, oh, I get to name all 6 of my children, and all 6 of them died when I tried to float my buggy or whatever the fuck it was.
Hey Brian, you died in my Oregon Trail. You had fucking diphtheria.
You remember because you put your friends' names in there too. It's like, hey dude, you just fucking died of snake bite. We lost 7 pounds of bacon yesterday. I want to be a kid again.
It's worse that people who grew up with like Grand Theft Auto though, right? Like that's worse.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
sometimes I get really, I don't know, what's the word? Lamenting about killing hookers. So, when I have to get that out of my system.
Sex workers.
Thank you.
Sex work is work, and I say that not as a joke.
I
That is not a joke.
100% agree. But I always like the term hooker. Because it cracks me up. I was like, how'd you get him? Well, I hooked him. Obviously. And she doesn't have a hand, she has a hook. So that's why she refuses to go by sex worker, because she's literally called the hooker.
Coming to CBS.
Oh, Merchant Ivory, dude. Yeah, I'm going to film for you.
Female sex workers, super serial killer.
Yeah.
Kills people with a hook and refuses to call herself a sex worker because she is a hooker.
She's a hooker. She's
Because she literally has a hook
hooker
that she uses to kill Johns.
One of the greatest ideas I've ever had.
There was a trope, and I don't think it is one now. I think we've kind of retired it as a trope, but it was called the hooker with a heart of gold.
Oh, I love that.
I've heard of that.
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
I was that.
Was that based off of?
With your hand?
You bet I did.
Was that based off of Pretty Woman? Was she the hooker with a heart of gold?
You know what? I think it
or was that the trope? Is it possible that was a trope before that? Because it doesn't seem like there would be an inspiration for it before that.
It really does feel like Pretty Woman was probably the
first hooker with a heart of gold.
She really did have a heart of gold. Didn't she? She really did.
She did.
Yeah, and then after that, like you got like Milk Money and shit. Like wasn't Melanie Griffith a hooker in that movie? Wasn't she?
MJ, so Milk Money is a movie where a group of 8-year-olds travel to New York City to try and see boobs. And they hire a sex worker played by Melanie Griffith, and they bring her home.
Yes.
And she lives in a treehouse.
Yeah.
And then they hook her up with his dad. One of the kids' dads.
So, but she really did.
Wow.
Her heart was actually made of real gold.
Oh no, it's like the baboon heart all over again.
Yeah.
She does have an untamed heart.
Oh no.
She has an untamed heart for the remains of the day.
Okay, you said it. That was the last one. Your privileges have been revoked. You are no longer allowed to say.
I just say to Amy, we're waiting to start. Like, Amy, we need to start now before the end of the remains of the day.
Can we get this done before the remains of the day?
I was waiting for them to say the title. Like I wanted to laugh so hard if somebody said the remains of the day.
Then we could all scream. They said the thing.
They said the thing. That's what we do. Anytime we hear the title of a movie in the movie, it's like they said the thing. We turn into the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Oh my god. That's a great one. Between that one and him laughing, I love those memes so much.
Oh, the Django Unchained?
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. God damn it, that's funny. Yeah, so. I almost feel like we need another nap after the movie.
I feel like that's acceptable.
Okay.
Hugh Grant says this is the best movie he's ever made.
No, sir. You would be wrong. Between this and the man who went up the mountain and came down the mountain.
He went up a hill, came down a mountain.
One, horrible film. This one, right behind it.
What about 9 Months?
9 months.
With Julianne Moore?
Oh, I vaguely recall that movie.
Yeah.
What about Mickey Blue Eyes?
Oh, fuck Mickey Blue
I
Eyes.
did
That
that.
movie sucks.
Okay, I'll tell you. My favorite is For Weddings and a Funeral.
Ugh.
I love that movie. I love him in that movie.
Did you see the terrible fucking movie he made with Sarah Jessica Parker?
Is that the Morgans one?
Yeah.
No, I refuse to
Terrible
watch anything
fucking
like that.
awful movie.
The sad thing is,
Awful.
I don't think I've watched anything from Hugh Grant kind of after About a Boy, because that's my all-time favorite Hugh Grant movie.
Yeah, that is his best work.
Yeah, and well, and then you got Sense and Sensibility, which again I love him in that movie. A lot of that kind of stuff I thoroughly enjoyed. Notting Hill, I still fucking love. It was such a sweet little movie.
Yeah, he's doing amazing work right now.
He's doing fantastic work
he's
now.
doing so great right now with what he did.
Love it.
He was so great in that Jason Statham movie, Rudy Garrow. He was so funny in that. And Dungeons and Dragons, he is hysterical
I have got to
in
see
Dungeons and Dragons.
I have to see that too.
I highly recommend that film.
Okay.
It's so much fun.
Well, and then like his streaming, like the shows that he's been a part of, he's been fantastic in those.
There's this moment where he's going to have Chris Pine put to death, and he goes, I don't want to see you die, so I'm going to leave the room.
All right, I'm definitely gonna watch that. Where's that streaming?
I don't know.
I need to find out.
I don't know. It's terrific. I love that
I
movie.
can't wait.
Yeah, and I think he looks interesting as an Oompa Loompa in the new Wonka movie.
God, there's so much chatter about that film.
Yeah.
And
Is it good or bad?
It's not good.
No.
Yeah, and they're like no, because people are just like, I don't think that Timothée Chalamet knows what he's doing.
He looks like he's having a lot of fun in the trailer.
I thought so too. I thought it looked really kind of whimsical, which is, but I mean, for my money, it's always going to be Gene Wilder. Now, having said that, if he's playing it like he's the younger Gene Wilder and basing it off of that, I would like that. But if you're, playing the younger Johnny Depp, let's say, I don't give a shit because I fucking hated that Willy Wonka movie. I thought it was terrible.
So here's a statistic for you.
Yeah.
Peter Vaughn, who plays Steven Sr.,
Yeah.
he's 14 years older than Anthony Hopkins.
But that's his daddy.
That man was no less than 95 years old.
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
That's why I said it looked like his brother. Right?
That would put him at 68 years old when he made this movie.
Oh my god.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
He was 100 in this
He's
film.
105 years old in this movie.
Oh my god. He looks great for a corpse.
I don't believe this. This can't be true because a magazine cannot call themselves Entertainment Weekly and call this one of the 50 greatest independent movies ever made.
I want to know what is entertaining about this film.
I want to know too.
It's got amazing production design. Like they did all of the production design. Like,
I don't watch a
all
movie
of the
for production.
design is
I
there.
watch it for a story.
But I mean, those sets were opulent. They were gorgeous. They were incredibly well put together.
Right?
I
don't fucking care.
It's like the elements that made up the movie were good, but they didn't have any plot.
Well, again, yeah, you got the elements that make up a great film. You got great actors that can make up a great film. Where the fuck is the great film? Vanished.
Let's make a movie
Yes.
about Nazi conspirators, but make it about the butler. What? No. What? The interesting shit is happening in the other room.
The butler.
No. We're gonna watch him measure.
The rich.
We're gonna watch him measure how far the cup is from the side of the table, and he's gonna have a romance that he never talks about with the head maid. That is basically them having a cup of coffee at the end of the night and talking about work.
Yeah.
The most romantic thing you can do in your life is sit down at the end of a day with your coworker and have a conversation about what you're going to do the next day.
You know what? We're done with work today. Can we talk about work for a bit?
I we didn't get enough work at work.
Mr. Stevens, I'm tired.
Do you feel...
well then fine. We're never doing this again. Way overreaction. Calm down.
He showed some emotion.
It was weird.
She was ending their romantic association in that moment. Don't you understand?
In that moment, right,
she was
that
not...
was their romantic association. That was work. It was just work.
That's how he fell in love with her. She keeps an orderly house.
Right.
That's the thing that he loves more about her than anything. She keeps an orderly house.
This is why I'll never find love if men think
That's how
like
he
that.
talked about her vagina.
Oh, she's a good housekeeper, if you know what I mean. She keeps a box clean.
Oh no.
What if it was all code for sex shit? Just a weird crazy. Eating tea is actually, drinking tea is actually something entirely different.
Well, I could have told you that. But
Madam, would you like to share tea?
tea, sir? I'm not your whore.
He asked me for tea. What should I do?
You don't give away your tea. Not unless he pays. And then it's not giving it away.
You do not give tea to gentlemen callers.
I gave him a good tea. I know we're using it wrong, but it's fine.
It makes you think that when they talked about Mr. Stevens Sr. leaving too much unpolished, what he left on the, what did he leave on the tea kettle?
I don't. I was too upset by when he's serving, and that drop from his nose comes out. I'm like, God, stop it!
He was sweating.
Ugh.
Okay, I'm
was
sorry.
sweat.
It looked like he was having allergies because that did not look like sweat to me.
That's so disgusting.
Well, you would have seen it.
Well, if you're
watch
105
it.
years old and you're carrying 2 pounds of fucking sterling silver, 10 pounds of sterling silver filled with fucking tea, yeah. You know, if you're 105 years old trying to carry that, you're going to sweat a little bit.
You know what? People don't work these days. People need to get off their fucking ass and work.
Oh yeah.
You're 105 years old? Get your ass to Hardee's.
Get your ass to Hardee's. Get your ass to be a Walmart greeter. You fucking lazy ass motherfucker.
Oh, these lazy fucks.
These lazy fucks.
Lazy 90-year-old fucks just laying around doing
I'm
nothing all day.
blind now. Oh, I can't drive a car now.
Oh, my legs and arms hurt.
Oh, I've got arthritis. You know, I've got arthritis. And
That
I'm a...
Amazon package is not going to mail itself. Retirement plan. You die while you work.
He lived like he died. Depressed and poor. See that because that's me. That's my life.
But see, you could be one of the 10 people who get super rich and then gets to tell other people what to do. So that's the American dream, right?
Yeah.
Is that one of the rich people will pick you to be also rich, and then you can tell everybody else to go fuck themselves.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
That's our economic plan. I don't know if you know this. That is the Republican economic platform.
Oh, we just have to.
We might pick one of you to be rich.
You might have a chance.
It's possible.
It might not come to you until you're on your deathbed.
It's possible that under our system, you might become rich. Think about that. Vote for me. You could win the rich person lottery.
Oh.
And then you get to look down on the peasants and not give them anything like I do.
Aww. Goals. Hashtag goals. Squad goals. Get me a rich white old man.
That was was that the English way of doing things back in the day?
Was hashtag goals.
You just look for an old white guy to marry.
Well, you can do that now.
Then he would be obligated to take care of the rest of your family.
Oh my God. That's so true. And the family's horses.
And if that didn't happen, then you became a servant.
Oh. And I don't have a dowry either, guys. So it's I don't know what to fucking tell you.
MJ, what is Amy's dowry?
It's a can of pickles.
I knew it! I knew it! Somebody out there who's Irish and has green eyes is going to say, give me that girl. I'll take one, please. One Amy Kernan.
Wait, where are the pickles?
You're
I
here.
do want them.
Your hands look a little empty. I was kind of told about these pickles
Pickles.
that were in a can, oddly enough.
I mean, if we lived in the time of the 1800s England, I own you. I get to tell you who you get to be with.
You're
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true because my parents are dead, so now
Yeah.
it's up to you.
You-
Oh,
I,
no, it technically would be my father because he's the oldest.
Wait, no, wouldn't it be Chuck?
Oh,
It
yeah. I
depends.
I'm
guess
kind of
Chuck is
property,
older.
aren't I?
Well, it would depend, though, because you guys have different
Dads.
fathers.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
you'd never meet.
So I think
You'd never know
that-
each other.
Yeah, I think that it's a little
You-
bit
and
different
you'd
if
be
you
a
have
bastard.
different fathers.
I already feel like Kevin's property. He's invested a lot in me, so I'm not going to say anything. But man, life is hard. Give me a couple of your chips now. That's your dowry. Casey's
Yes.
barbecue chips.
somebody can marry me for some barbecue chips.
No, we have somebody in mind.
Oh, yeah, your father is actually arranging something for you.
Oh God, that'd be terrible. Oh my God.
I do not want my father to
No.
marry.
No,
Oh my God.
no, none of
No,
that.
thank you.
No.
No, thank you.
Self-determination, what's that?
My name's Amy, and I'm property. Damn proud of it.
Hey, why not? I don't want to fucking do anything. You make my decisions for me, whatever, yeah. Marry that guy? Sure, what the fuck ever.
I don't care.
Hey, you know who should have no sense of humor? Mike Nichols.
Mike Nichols. How the fuck do you have no sense of humor? Richard
hasn't-
Curtis, he's not.
He's just no sense of fun. He's just telling. It's like somebody telling you a movie.
Yeah.
Like that's what this movie is. It's just a series of people telling you interesting things that have happened. Like World War II is about to happen, and if we don't listen to, Clark Kent over there, Christopher
Oh,
Reeves is in the movie.
Christopher Reeve.
I
yeah.
feel like we could have just kept. I feel like they could have just read letters to us the entire
Aw.
time, and it would have had the same effect.
Basically, it's
Now I want that
basically what
movie.
it's like.
Just read letters.
It's called Love Letters.
Oh,
It's
that
on
was-
Broadway.
Was that a Pinter play?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, their
Wow.
letters seemed more romantic
this-
than they ever did.
That's
so.
true.
This
That's a
was
good point.
This screenplay was originally written by Pinter, so
Was it really?
yeah,
No.
he did the original screenplay. They didn't use it.
Oh, I was gonna.
They gave it to Ruth
say.
Prawer Jhabvala, who wrote the shitty screenplay.
Oh, that one that won all those awards, right? That shitty one.
It did win awards. What were you people watching? What were you
Were
watching?
you watching the same movie we
Grant,
watched?
1993 is garbage. This is a flaming garbage fire of the
It
year.
is. It's true.
But I would argue, and I know you'll disagree with this, and that's fine. I would argue Jurassic Park is a better movie than this. I would say that if you're gonna have a cinematic achievement like that has lasted the ages,
Mhm.
fucking Jurassic Park deserved to be nominated for Best Picture.
It's certainly louder than this movie.
I thought it was a little bit more interesting. At least there was something going on. There was a plot.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs eating people.
Well, I mean, you got Jeff Goldblum in that movie. You know what I mean? He
But
could
those
do no
dinosaurs
wrong.
looked incredible, did they not?
They did.
They
For
did.
I just don't give a
1993?
shit about that movie just because it's not. It's like when I was a little kid and I would see you playing with GI Joes and I'd steal like Lady J to have her play with my toys because she was a girl. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to play with My Little Ponies. Like I was very gendered, misled. As a kid.
Still wearing pink to this day.
Still wearing pink to this day, but like
I say wearing blue.
but like back then, like stuff like that never appealed to me because it just looked like a very brown, camouflagey kind of movie, and that's not my aesthetic, love. It's just not. So I don't know.
What is your aesthetic movie? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
fuck
3?
no, fuck no.
Oh no.
MJ, do you have an aesthetic movie?
Oh, I don't know that I do.
What about Supernatural?
That's a TV
That's a
show.
TV show.
Yeah, it is a
Um,
TV show, but is that your aesthetic?
Maybe I don't know. I feel like
You're looking at your shirt looks like something that could fit in with the Winchesters.
it definitely is.
True.
And me and my dad have matching ones of these, which doesn't help that fact. So
Nerd alert.
my mother got me this for Christmas.
Bless.
And your dad the same one.
Yes.
They should have been
came as
monogrammed.
It came as a shirt package. Like there was 2 shirts in it, and this was one. This was the outer shirt, and there was an inner shirt.
Do you have
Really?
to wear them to family gatherings together? Dressed the same?
We wore him to the first one.
Oh my God. Your mom needs to have one so you guys can have a family portrait taken. I want that for you.
We've all got such short hair. We match. What do we want now?
That's true. Sorry, that's funny. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So, go out and purchase Remains of the Day, and then burn it in
The
your
most
backyard.
exciting movie. It's the Fast and the Furious of 1993. Congratulations, you found it. It's this one. This movie is the Fast and the Furious of 1993.
Goal unlocked. Now, burn it. Burn it with fire. And I'm so sorry
It's
for
so
anybody who
boring.
loves this movie, but it's
Why? Why?
Why?
What do you love about this? This is so boring.
Oh, hey, I got a Robbie story for you guys. It's digression. I was watching an old interview with he and Rupert Grint, and he was talking about, like, they were asking Rupert and Rob what their favorite movies were. Do you want to know what one of Rob's favorite movies was in his early 20s as this interview took place?
Oh, boy.
Fucking Demolition Man. I lost my shit. I'm like, are you
Jeez,
fucking
did
kidding
you fall
me?
out of love?
No, if anything, I fell further in love. Even though I hated that movie. Because I have to respect.
Does he
his-
have an
choices.
opinion on the 3 seashells?
I think that's probably why he liked it. Probably for that alone. That would make so much sense. Oh, see, you clamp. You use one as a clamp, and then the other one you scrape. 2 clamp, 1 scrape. Murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill.
Ah.
You're
Murder,
welcome.
death, kill remains of the day, please.
I'd watch that movie. Demolition Remains of the Day.
What if Sly Stallone was Stevens?
God?
Sandra Bullock as Emma Thompson's character. Benjamin Bratt as Hugh Grant's character.
I hate this idea. It's greenlit. Let's go.
Wesley Snipes as Darlington.
Oh my God. No.
We fixed your movie.
Hey, can I ask what we're watching next weekend?
You can ask. I don't know if I'll tell you.
I'd like to know, so I could tell myself.
Do we want to watch another Oscar movie?
Fuck.
I asked.
Do not make it a Merchant Ivory film.
We're watching Howard's End.
Oh my God, no. No more. No more Anthony Hopkins.
The door opens. Oh, it's you. Yes, it's me. Well, yes.
Yes.
Please leave. I'm sorting matches. Oh, well, there was this thing that happened to other people, not us. I'm going to tell you about it for 10 minutes.
Oh,
But forget that you heard it.
right.
So he's supposed to be an unreliable narrator?
I guess that was the deduction.
Based
Yeah.
off of what?
That
Honestly, what evidence is there in the movie? Not the book. Fuck the book.
yeah. What evidence? Okay.
What evidence in the movie is supposed to tell us that he's an unreliable narrator?
Because he lies.
I guess, yeah, he does. Does he lie? I mean, he
Yeah.
lies about
He
not
lies about-
remembering these
Yeah.
things. I guess.
Like
I guess.
he never
there's
heard the conversation about the Nazis. He never even worked for Darlington. Like, you know, he didn't correct anybody when he was in that pub and say that he was actually a worker and not a gentleman. Which I love that. I'm sorry, I am not a gentleman. I am very aggressive, very rough.
Let me tell you about fucking gold standard versus the other type of economy. Okay. I'm gonna step out of my buttling for a moment and let you know that the gold standard was bullshit anyway.
Oh. See, I like our show
I fixed the movie again.
because we don't have any standards. That's the best thing about us.
Your options for next week are the movie Addams Family Values
Okay.
or the horror film Man's Best Friend, starring Lance Henriksen as a man who has a murderous robot dog.
That's not fair. Yeah, I guess Addams Family.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I like Lance Henriksen and robots and dogs
Mm-hmm.
and murder, I think Addams Family probably.
Addams
Does that
Family
sound good to
Values
you?
is next.
Featuring MC Hammer's hit. The Addams Family.
Oh my God, he did. Was that for number 2?
They do what they want to do, say what they want to say. Yeah.
I thought
Oh
that was
no,
for-
why do I remember that? Oh, some things I really thought that I let go of because of trauma, but nope, that one stays.
MJ will show you the video before we watch the movie next week.
That's right.
You can be up to date on MC Hammer collabs.
Fuzzy's just going to keep staring at the PS or whatever the
What?
thing is that you have.
Why is that guy's pants so big?
Hey, they were starting to get a little smaller. You know, this was 93.
Why was he wearing genie pants?
Don't know.
He was
don't
wearing,
know.
Where's this giant parachute pants? They're huge.
He just like he's flying. Oh, and actually, this is where he because he dropped MC. Remember, so he's just Hammer.
Is he just Hammer?
He's
at
just
that
Hammer
point?
for this one.
I didn't know that.
Adam's Groove. Oh, it's Adam's Groove. That's this
The
one.
Adams.
Adam's Groove. Fuck yeah, dog.
Oh my God! Does the hand dances? Doesn't it?
It does.
In the
It
in the
totally
video.
does. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, I think that was for the first Adams Family.
I thought so.
Darn it.
Didn't the Fat Boys do this?
Let's find out. Here, I'm gonna find out. Adams Family soundtrack.
Adams Family Values soundtrack. We're talking about Adams Family 2.
Values soundtrack.
Right.
Let's see.
Was it the Fat Boys?
Oh God, Shubber Ranks was on there. I don't see that. Charles and Eddie, of course, Charles and Eddie. H-Town. Oh my God, they cover Isley Brothers. It's Your Thing. Makes sense. R. Kelly. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God.
Wasn't he trapped in a closet? Why didn't we let him out? Oh, Brian McKnight is on there. PM Dawn.
PM Dawn.
May You Always Drink Bizarre. Oh, I love you, PM Dawn. And a band called Portrait. Ooh, Fushnikins is on there too. RuPaul. What you see is what I get. Whatever it is.
Is this the worst soundtrack ever?
It also has the Addams Family Womb
Oh, so it was
tag team.
Tag team.
Fucking
Okay,
yeah.
that was the single.
What a
Wow.
horrible soundtrack aside from PM Dawn.
What
yeah.
the fuck?
I guess we're doing that next week.
Okay. Amy, this podcast is brought to you by
The Pontiac Fiero, the white people of cars.
the only car that can have a nervous breakdown.